심지어 담제가도 토자라나 마치고 산제 고마는 뭐지 진행해 토바차 대해서는 자주서 멜랍잖아 출신 양수는 나와래 심을 토발은 토지쇼만 넣어가지고 근데 가서 보다 라브르게 쇼는 얘기 삼삼제.
And so, in order to bring the perfect benefit to all sentient beings, I must attain the purest state of enlightenment. And to do so, I must perfect all the trainings on the path of the Bodhisattva teachings. In order to do that, I must have be able to gain an understanding of what to do based on a non-mistaken presentation. And so it is with this in mind that I'm here to listen to a teaching on the body of texts known as the Graduated Path to Enlightenment this morning.
다는 예유에다 둘러 쳐발라 되는 때절을 냥 자저 상전ኛ를 지려 줘. 얘도 유라 사모다주도 자진 지려 줘야 가서 라마는 뭐다 거네 수가다. 어떻게 대참들라는 가담케 가서 되다. 주벨라 맞지. 안대샤의 정글로 좀 봐 주봐. 주바지. 등들라 아니 랑게 자자라고 주던 거다. 되네. 아니 저 가서 라메 내 자주자는 계산 산자동 아니 가서다 university gel서 소리 자주서 자서법을 소한테는 라제테는 바오고 수jo 수마쳤다 소시 마서하면 봐찬다 등게 나갈 유가졌어 고마시.
And as normal, then we set up the merit field in the space in front of us, beginning with the central figure of the greatly passionate and skillful means one, Shakyamuni Buddha. From whose heart then emanate light rays, setting up the rest of the merit field, beginning with the lineage of the consecrated practices headed by Vajradhara, and to the left and right the lineages of the extensive practices headed by Maitreya, and the profound view lineage headed by Manjushri. Below them on both sides are the different schools of the Kadampa lineage, and below them again the Geluk lineage with Jay Rinpoche at the center of that grouping. And then in the space in front and just below the central figure are the grouping of our own teachers, at the center of which is our own root guru. And nearby and surrounding are the four sets of the tantric lineages. Then we have the Buddhas of this fortunate eon, such as the grouping of the 1,000 Buddhas of this fortunate eon, the 35 Buddhas of confession, and then following that, then we have the the 8 close disciples and so on, the Arya Bodhisattvas, the hearers, the solitary realizers, and then the arhats and the heroes, dakinis and dharma protectors, so that we are sure that we have all of the members of the merit field in place without exception. And then we offer the 7-limb practice and the mandala offering.
Wata jamchaya party. Then Yanajila Lama de Chila Chitin with Yatan, Jauto Jam Pato, Lamangala me. What the check? Until I yalla to meet at the joy. What the check? And then Jauto chanted, Rangat Casadata, Lama to Jamja and the Lama to Chanti. and because the rank teacher Lama Lama Tuan John Cheng and Tuga, that's what's the water commission.
And then we do the dissolution of the merit field, beginning from the bottom where the Dharma protectors are, and then each line or grouping dissolves into the one above, so that we have all of those dissolving into their subsequent groupings until we are at the level of our own root guru, and all of the members of our teachers and so on dissolve into our own root guru at that level. And then all the members of the consecrated practices lineage dissolve into the head of that lineage, Vajradhara, as do all the members of the extensive practices lineage, and the profound view lineage, together with the Kadampa lineages and the Geluk tradition lineages, all dissolving into the remaining figures there being Maitreya and Manjushri, so that we are left with the 5 main figures at that stage of the central figure of Guru Manindra Vajradhara, our own root guru, Maitreya, Manjushri and Vajradhara. And then they in turn dissolve into the central figure, first of all with Vajradhara dissolving into the crown, and then Maitreya and Manjushri coming in, dissolving into the central figure, and finally our own guru rising up and dissolving into the heart center of our own guru, the central figure. So now we are left with the central figure of Guru Manindra Vajradhara. At the point of the 5 remaining figures, we also should have paused there and made the practice offering of the 7-limb practice and mandala offering. And so now we are left with the single remaining figure of Guru Manindra Vajradhara. And at this point, we offer the stake-like prayer, as we normally do. My most divine Guru, Lord of the 4 Kayas, I make petition to you, Shakyamuni Vajradhara. My most divine Guru, Lord of unimpeded Dharmakaya, Lord of blissful Sambhogakaya, Lord of sundry Nirmanakayas, embodiment of all gurus, embodiment of all deities, of all Buddhas, of all Dharma, of all Sangha, of all Dakas, of all Dharmapalas, of all refuge, I make petition to you, Shakyamuni Vajradhara. Then we make a seat on our own crown of the lotus sun and moon disc mandala, and we recite the invocation prayer for the central figure of Guru Manindra Vajradhara to come and take his seat on our crown. O glorious and precious root Guru, come take your lotus and moon seat placed here on my crown. Keep me safe in your kindness. Bestow on me the attainments of your body, speech, and mind. At the end of the first recitation, a replica body starts the journey from the space in front of us to our crown. At the end of the second recitation, it takes his seat there, and at the end of the third recitation, we have the certainty that our Guru will remain with us until we attain the state of enlightenment itself, and we rejoice at that fact.
Rangi Chibola and Casa Lama Tuanto Chan, Lama Tuanto Chan, the Tari Casa Gamma Kudus Ten.
And we are aware that the Guru we have on our crown is the embodiment of all refuge.
Lama Tuanto Chang, Comshima one, Tata Casa, Pachi Tamani love to the Pachi Tamani Ganane, and Taka, Dengazel love to the Dengazel love to Tata, Tunjum over the Tunsam to Chita Chava, Tunjum over the Joe were Jew Sulata, Joa the Casa Dotu Shusai, but what the Joe. That word de la Casa, never Mushi de la Roda, never Mushi de la Timabe. Never Mushi de la Taka. Tashanet. Caso de Chene, as a Chene to me, as a make them to my soon down, so was Sunday, Cheso Chapa Chot to Juata.
And so that we have then, bearing in mind that we have our Guru Manindra Vajradhara on our crown, we will now re-enter the text and continue on with the subject related to the 6 perfections, looking at the last 2 perfections in most detail. And at this point, the second last of those, the perfection of meditation, and we had discovered that that there are 3 different sections or outlines to this subject. The preliminaries, the main body of the text, and the conclusion of it. And we have briefly covered the preliminaries last week. And so now we're beginning at the main body of the session, and explaining how to tackle that in relation to meditative concentration. And here at the beginning, the text points out that though there are many possibilities to have an object of focus to take for your meditative concentration, it said that it's a very good idea to be able to use the figure of the Buddha as the object of one's meditation. And so here, pointing out that there are a variety of different objects that one can take in order to cultivate the meditative concentration in reference here. And that means that it says essentially the object that one takes doesn't matter. One can use a flower, for example, and just concentrate on that in order to cultivate meditative concentration. But here, in the context of those who are really striving to attain liberation and the omniscient state of enlightenment, it makes perfect sense to use the body of the Buddha as one's object of meditation, because this will not only avail of the blessing of the Buddha, as we are keeping that in mind, as it were, all the time, but also it will be extremely helpful for a practice in the tantric tradition, where guru deity meditation is vital, and laying down positive imprints on the mind to become proficient at that. And so it's got a lot of extra benefits to it to use the body of the Buddha as an object of meditation. And so it says then that here, how to set that up is that we again become aware of the figure of Guru Manindra Vajradhara on our crown, and that then and light rays emanate, similar to the threads of a spider's web that emanate out in the space in front, and they establish a replica of Guru Maninja Vajradhara, facing back towards the figure on our crown. And that figure is of burnished gold color, sitting in the Vajra posture, etc.
Zebar Sovata, Sansama Sanjatan, Pejasama Jetu, what the Compassia, what the Shani Tochi Shubacha, what the Compassia, that Namjo Sanjaku, what the Chakanta Dadi, yes, and Yam Shagatan to Sakon Husanaba, Kula Chugu Tocha Soa, and Shatochi Shuba. Let's call show you some such a Usuba, Kura show you some one, what the
And so that figure is sitting in the Vajra posture with the left hand in the meditative equipoise mudra, holding an alms bowl filled with nectar, and the right hand in the earth-touching mudra. And that figure is the color of burnished gold, and yes, and in this way we visualize.
Ko tsunde yorwa, ta shuda yorjena kaza dushi chomba, dushi chombe ta rwa, pumbi du, haipi du la soba, ta kaja nyomongbe du, chidago du, nyomongbe du, dushi sirwa, nyoba jine dushi. Ngarazo pumbi du ma chomba sa ngarazo nagi duwa, sagi duwa, rwa ta sange kude, anu pumbi du chomba, anu kaza de haipi du chomba. Haibata, Razolata, Mimaiga Novata Yungudua. Sanjela Nova Yungu Yomarwa, Nova Yunguma, and Takane Chiwa Yomar, Chitago to Johnson, Raza Chigidua, Chiguyovasa, Chitago to Yorba, Chitago to. And the day is a Chitago to. And then Razo Yomu Chigidua, Sanjela Yomo, the Chitago to, no more to, that Dushi Jomba Silva, Dushi Jomba, Takaja Sanjela Shutaya.
Tambo de again. Tambo
de Pumbu du, Nova Pumbu du. And then Casa de hybrid du, Mimai never out the Suyo Marwa, hybrid du. And then Taganish Chitag du, that Chiwa Yuyo Marwa, Chitag du. And then Casa de Nomobe du. Nyomo Yomo, but the things are Sanjay, the Caso, yes, Sanyo Jed, the Caso de Takacha, yes, Sanyo, Yamshak, to Zaka, Takacha, to Zaka, Lusen number, take a good Shudaya, Jana, Dushi Jobeta. Narazo, Dushi Jomba Das, that's a good that in Yorba. Narazo Dushi Mozo, Nagitu, and then Shigitu, and the Tagane Shanga Casa de Mimai Nugutu. And Yomonge, Shamato Jogoto, T. Basa was a Dushi Majoma on the Yorba, and the Sanjay Shuda Yanjana, and Dushi Jobata, there is a Hunsenale, and Dusi Cheta, Neshive, Dusi, because of the Nemayo, what Casada, and the Taganishan dear, and the Casada Dingazing, Dusi Chata, Dusi to the Tati, and Yomo to Jogo Yorba, what Takaja, Dushi Jobek, Takaja, Sanjay Shudaya Jana. Kui chaje yanjene dushi jombagita de sanje ku komedi kebashi ju여서 ke바 되게 dushi jom고를 다 줘야지. 그 맞전에 기바 연구만 다 쓰죠. 구슈 다양한데 어떻게 ke바 연구를 어떻게 쳐.
And so again, to point out that these particular details of the way in which the figure of Shakyamuni Buddha, the figure of Guru Maninja Vajradhara, is to be visualized are highly significant and they're very symbolic, such as the way in which we talk about the sitting in the Vajra posture with the left hand in the meditative equipoise posture, holding an alms bowl filled with nectar, the right hand in the earth-touching mudra, the color of burnished gold, etc., etc. And these are symbolic of, on the one hand, of overcoming the four demons, it's often said. So this is the way when the Buddha first became enlightened, he bore witness to the fact that having overcome these. This is how I've overcome these particular demons. So these were the demons of the aggregates. These are the way they're described. The demons of the son of the deities, which refers to any non-human harm that can arise. The demon of the mental afflictions, which is obvious, and the demon of the Lord of Death. And so it's that we are all very much prone and vulnerable to these demons, whereas the enlightened one, the Buddha, has overcome these particular obstacles and demons. And so this is what's being really said here. This is the Buddha, this is the one who has overcome these four. And also, with the alms, the nectar in the meditative, in the alms bowl as well, as it's kind of like symbolic of being able to develop good meditative concentration, etc., and avoid any obstacles while one is doing so.
Nowadays, and you didn't matter to Rashimeva, la and 70 minutes. Nangla or the age of conversation, Telemino. And that day it's a Sebu com de Vala Mavos or Chawata. Sugar com de Vala, Shembas or Chawaina, and Chicom de Vala Dumachawana, Chawata. That is Chicom de la Sanjakumamu Chati, Chawas Juna, the Dagi Chesota, Lord the Neg Namdo Shabat de Devaina, Namdo Shabas the Injimage Gaso de Chulogi, Nomon Kesa usual in Goma, but a Sanja Ku in a good shoot it, Tojikin shoot the one come the Valaya, so the Yashanti and now chat out the Rumburata. What did you go? What did they go? Lord Madan, and she come to Dumana. What did they go? Lord Madan, that is to Rangi Tambo, some of Tansa, who shoot there, shoot our Tahara, some shot of church. What to the net of church, what did it? Shambata, and she come to Vala Tomaso, Joina, the Dagi Cheso Mejama. Sawe Migdia, that's what Tambo can let you go with some. Sawe Migdela, same Chito, Chito Mina Comsa, that Chito Mina Comsa. There, Tambona, Tangse, regular Rashi, several Rang, Majoya, Tambo, Mazula, Tambo, Tambona, several Quita was the Yogumarwa. Rwata, Atakui, Dunjila, because of Dunji, Chacha some Sevala, and that's also because of the Dunji Chacha some Jeta, good the Legic, years of the Legic, well, and the same shani. They should mean a Congores. They are also tuned dead some years, Bala, Jingo, then a much more church. Takanja, so Unibush, that you have for your Matan was the Letter, you to Noji, and deep Bala, Jiwata Goba Kanchu, my own Tachi Chechen. Kede Juma Yimana, Dematato, Ponyam Duba, Tanguna, Tun de Dune, so the same thing that Jingo Mayon Jingo Maya Jingo Juaina, Dematato, and Casataka, Jingo did a Jiggy something that Dubatan it. Pempatan it, get him his son. Never use a pen was sending Shogan, which Lango Yuna. A sending a chill dog with Chigu as a Pempatan, and you say on was for Chigua. Semi Kabadua, but sending was a chill dog with Yuna. Sending a novel, so novel language, or sending a legat and the novel language of similar Pempatan and do. Yeah, sending novel and Kabadostua. That dinner that Jingo Juma Tagala and Jingo to the Jetta Chigi, so Susigal Pempatan. And the Jingo Juma Lamjang water and Jingo the Jingo Pant really cover you with it.
So, yes, and so these particular postures as described, sitting in the Vajra posture, and then also surrounded or enfolded in a rainbow colored halo. And this is symbolic also of the making sure that we are reminded that what we are visualizing here is empty of any inherent existence, any objective existence, and merely imputed by thought as well. So we're bringing in emptiness into our meditation, and we try to then really determine to stay pointedly focused on the chosen object of our meditation, so that if we have other things arising, so for example, if we wish to see a golden figure of the Buddha, but a red image arises, or if we wish to see a seated Buddha but a standing Buddha arises in the mind, or if we want to have a single Buddha in our as our meditation object, but many Buddhas arise. We do not follow after these kind of red herrings. It's very important that here we kind of really can understand that mental proliferation and distraction doesn't have to occur from outside or externally, but even in what we're trying to do, what we desire to do ourselves, these kinds of mental proliferations can arise. And so it's saying not following after these, and being very determined not to follow after these is part of the mental discipline that we try to cultivate in order to really establish a good training for developing meditative concentration. So here, quality is absolutely important over quantity of meditation. So short sessions that are of excellent quality is what is really, really important. So therefore, if at the beginning, we also want to develop kind of this clarity, this brightness and stability in our meditation, but it doesn't arise from the outset, then we really just simply take a kind of meaning generality image of a Buddha and have that as our object of meditation, and that try to sustain this single pointed focus just on a general sense of the figure of the Buddha, and that really determine for as long as the session is going to continue that we will not allow any mental sinking or mental excitement to occur. And this is very, very important, and to also really determine that if it does arise, then immediately we will do something about it and really cut it out, and then be able to return to our object of meditation, hold that firmly and single-pointedly, and so that we never lose sight of our object of chosen object of focus, and are able to maintain a kind of continuity of focus on that. And so this is very, very important for beginners, and it's a very good way of keeping the mind in place, the best means for keeping the mind in place. It's all about setting our minds up before the session begins, to kind of really determine that for the chosen length of time that I want this session to continue, I will make sure that it's going to be all quality, and that so therefore firm focus on the chosen object, not allowing any mental sinking or excitement to occur, and so on. As again, I said, this is possible for us to be able to do. Like if we want to, if we're going to bed at night and we say, I need to get up early in the morning, I want to get up early in the morning, and we can set that sort of predetermined concentration in our minds, and when that time comes, you will arise at the time you have chosen in the morning. It's often the case. You can make it your own self-fulfilling prophecy, as it were.
sometimes when I saw sending like a mixage check with Nawalan check with I said it didn't check with you some such and Dubatane, what I said to do the Langua some such a Namju de la Langiman Lang to Gudua. What said with Dubatane like Kabaju was
So pointing this quality of the mind, if you have something special to do tomorrow and you need to do it from early in the morning, that you can set your mind clock, as it were, to get yourself up at that time in the morning, even if that's not your normal habit. And so it's showing the special quality of the mind that if you predetermine something like that very strongly and very sincerely, you can make it happen for yourself.
Lodi Yun Jongani, Lea Dambo, the Sender to the Taptama was Taptama was what is it? Takanji, Mike, Kadeshan, the Sanjaku, Lola, Nawa Tagara, Kalasem, Nawa Tagara, Kalasem Shasha, Nawa Tagara, Nawa Tagara, Kalasem Shasha. Kanja Damato, Sheguna Sucha Gedua. Pena, Sem the Shegus or a shop. And the second su it is charted what in Asia Chene and you did and Lola in the Chawa Takaranga Semsha Chawa Takaranga Semsha Tap Miwa Jong Se Jorwa Miwa Jong said what to Shegu La Tapena Chala in the step in a Shegu de la Chala the charting what that didn't that and you did you that's Sanja good Lola now Lola Charwa Takaranga Semsha Shetama that Jokomwa. What did I say? What is it? Piggy does the Piggy US of the game member. Lola Charwata.
And so here, as it points out that if such a mental sinking, a mental excitement does occur, it's imperative that we cut it out as soon as possible when it arises. And then to return the mind to this single-pointed, firm focus, so to never lose sight of the object, to maintain that continuity, quality continuity of our focus, is the whole point of the practice at this point. And it said this is really the most excellent approach for somebody who's starting out to develop meditative concentration. And here, it's that which you've chosen your object, and you're just saying that which appears in the mind, what rises in the mind, describing that object, just merely what arises in the mind. That's the objective of what we focus on, and we just focus on that. No elaboration on that at all. Just allowing that. It's not something that's external to us that we're pointing out. Oh, this is the object out there that I've focused on. This is something, a mental object that we're trying to develop concentration on.
And we think you dear, and if can't Chungjonja, Junata Casada Dalwa, the Shenshiba, and it just sends some la Sem Zena, Sem to a jet, Semas of Jamasa, Matter Sidra Casa, but then it's Chunjuch. Kazachuna Yagua, Kazachuna with them, and then they are covered on any turns out and they get it. And then they talk hands, what that did it. That can just check you remember that Kazachuna Yaga, you must you what is it? Meeting you.
And so the object that we choose also, it's said that it's preferable for it to be as small as possible. That's it's supposed to be beneficial. So here, to say describing the figure of the Buddha as being the size of a pea, and so trying to keep it as small as possible. If we have a difficulty in that we can increase the size to the size of a thumb, but saying to try to keep it as small as possible.
What is it? There is a Ula, Uda, Chanida, Shamnida, and Kui, Dewala, Sobias, Dujilla, Duji, Chaja, some Shawala, and Chokshe Jeneza, Semsi. Then Semsivana, Ranga, we Zudon, Rimki, Marseta, Ranga, and there Bema, Tawane, Rimki, Yarseta. Lord Jimju Remba, Jenas, and Migden, La Sessing, or Niebe. Dawa Sejudo Joba, Getches.
And so that's so then if if the size of the thumb is too small for you to feel comfortable with, then you can raise the size of the figure to that of a hand span. And that's so here, and then also if you're visualizing, meditating on that image, and that only, say, the head appears in your focus, or the two hands, or the 2 feet, or the navel, you just get a kind of a general image of just that part of the figure of the Buddha. Be satisfied with that for now, and maintain your hold and focus on that. And that then when you have focus on that, then you can start to kind of do more kind of a glancing over, say, starting with the ushnish, the crown protrusion at the top of the head, and glance right down, scan right down to the lotus, and then from there you can sometimes do from the lotus and scan upwards to the top as well. And that here always trying to have the skill to really relax the intensity with which you're holding the object mentally, or indeed tighten the intensity because it's gotten too loose. And so you have to do that as appropriate. That is a matter of experience. But the whole point is to maintain this crystal clear, luminous state of focus on the object of meditation, and do that like single-pointedly.
And 다들 미견디 또스 지부스로 줘봐 이나 지부스로 줘봐 이나 야부요 소다도 마이에 켜봐 용거리스 아니 왜스리 줘봐 이나 왜세 초들을 줘나 아니 지 가서 지와 모여를 켜봐 요리스 또스 지부스로 줘봐 이나 sem 화조에 켜봐 아니 왜스리 줘봐 이나 왜세 초들을 줘봐 이나 아니 지와 모여를 켜봐 용거리스 어디에 지금
So it's said to have the impression that the object of your focus has some sort of weight to it. Really helps to prevent any mental excitement arising in the mind, and the seeing, having the impression that it is in the nature of clear light. Prevents any, can be helped to avoid mental sinking arising.
What did it come out? What did it check? And the dam members are Goma, Dagisar, Goma, Geshe Sara, Jubu Jimbe, Semdini, Luna Joa, Tesome, Jesumar, Desa, Hajan, Letabe, Jiwatamu, Jube. Shubu res, these are rigmaris, Mirijan, Tana Tigma, Res, Chima Geshe, Jetani Chebe, Jeba, Nadenda, Zenda, Shukje, Ge Sumbala, then Hajan, Jim Tabe, Neja, Miniba Inde, Lobe, Zenda Gomis, Suba Dena, Goba Jumbushi, Deban Nani, Shuba Kiwajo, Dei Rila, Nyamju, Nyagana, Deis, Casa Deis, same too. And
so this, in reference to this kind of skill of being able to either tighten where appropriate or loosen where appropriate, in order to maintain stability and clarity with regard to the object. In the past, there were different kind of emphases on what to do. For example, Saraha, he pointed out that without a doubt, the mind which is tied up in a knot will be liberated when you release it. But the problem with this was that when you have this kind of like a really complete release of the intensity with which you're holding the object, you're allowing then subtle sinking to arise. And then later, some great masters also had the opposite emphasis, saying you must have try for an intense kind of mindfulness, as if to cultivate a forceful holding of the object. And the issue here is that when you have like this very tight holding of the object, it's difficult to find the necessary stability with regard to focus on the object. So you can see there is a very easy to slip into slight extremes with regard to either too loose or too tight with regard to our concentration. And that Acharya Chandra Goman pointed this out as well, saying applying too much effort and you get excited. Abandon that effort and you develop a dullness. And so if this is true, it is so hard to gain absorption. What am I to do if the mind is disturbed like this?
쇼와데 안 각답전에 다다투 레투바체 야섬 고양부체 바 동상에 칼라와드르체 바야부체 오더전 그래서 서버 맞잖아 아니야 자롱 건가 마직 담어도 야 롱게 내가 요래지 저거 러고제 선바용 러고제 대도 아니 미국에 데벨이 딱딱 숨도 버체 미국에 딱딱 세고 아니 외치리 내도 버체 야, 다 러고제도 그때까지 밸런스 딱딱 내도 버체 그럼 탕 맞아도 가이네 켜봐요 그러와
So here, to really develop a really comprehensive plan of practice is quite important. In other words, that we have set ourselves the goal of developing meditative concentration in a steady, continuous, unbroken a number of sessions, for example. So in other words, that we don't say, think, to develop such concentration is great, and then jump into it, and you put massive effort in, and then you get the disillusion because it's not happening, and you drop it. And then, you're going to leave it for a while, then you get another second wind, and you go back and you try it again the same way, with this kind of like a forceful sort of pushing for it. This is not the preferred approach. The preferred approach is to always favor quality of focus over quantity or length of sessions. So it's very, very important here that we tried for excellence in terms of both the lucidity in our focus and the clarity in which we were able to hold the object, and in order to do so, we need to take this more kind of professional approach of starting with shorter sessions and always trying to end on a high note so that you are inspired into your next session, and also to be able to educate yourself with regard to what good meditation, meditative concentration should feel like, should be like, and reading about the good qualities of meditative concentration so that you are again inspired and encouraged, and then to bring that into the next session, and always determine that you are after a quality over quantity of or length of the session itself. And so you must understand that this will be necessarily short sessions, first of all, but with that quite really determined and genuine approach, that the length of time in which you can maintain a quality focus on the object will lengthen with experience. And this is becomes then absolutely key is your own experience as to what are the, for you, what was really beneficial in your mental approach towards meditative concentration, and what was a fault or a problem. So you learn all this through your own experience. So this is very, very important. In the text then, it points out that for some people to try to visualize the Buddha, figure of the Buddha, can be a little bit difficult. And it's easier for them if they take the mind itself as their object of meditation. And so it's really talking about then how we should do this, how we can do this. And so the first and foremost is that if you take the mind as your object of meditation, then you must really abandon all conceptual analysis of things as whether it's something good arising in the mind or something bad arising in the mind, you do not pay any attention to that at all. You abandon all conceptual analysis and do not engage in any such kind of fabrications of the mind. And that this is really, really clear in order to really to generate this, crystal clear image of the mind itself, and hold on to that awareness in the mind and use the mind as the object of meditation. So here, of course, it's awareness or mindfulness is the whole essence of this. And so, apart from really the essence of mindfulness, we should not take any object newly that arises in the mind as our object of focus. In other words, don't get distracted onto any new thing that arises in the mind. And indeed, but to only place the mind in the clear essence of your own awareness. And if another object arises in the mind, some other mental fabrication arises, then we must kind of really cut that out with extreme urgency and with every effort. And so saying, this is not part of what I should be doing right now. This is absolutely unnecessary here. And then really return the mind to the object of your focus, the mind itself, with a little more intensity to kind of re-establish the proper focus on the mind. And so here it's described as like a person wielding a sword, completely severing any other thought constructions that arise. And here it's talking about, once cut off, what remains is the mind, and do not lose that. Relax by easing up, strengthen by tensing, and then relax by easing up again. And this is called settling the mind. And you can see how, again, where one's own experience comes into play here very strongly about what to do. If you have these issues arising in your session, when you should be just single-pointedly being focused on your own awareness, and that this is how you can make progress by doing that kind of review about what was helpful and what was harmful in that particular session. So very, very important to kind of maintain a balance with regard to how much clarity and how much intensity that you're looking to establish towards your object. If you overdo it on, say, the intensity, you're too tight, it's not only going to affect the stability of your object, but also it can be a danger of developing kind of a wind issues in the body, kind of a physical sort of wind imbalances in the body. And so here it's said to approach, the overall approach should be having one where you are quite relaxed in your mindset, relaxed overall. You're not tense about what you're doing, but in the session itself, you maintain that discipline of good, solid focus. So it's a kind of a balance that you're looking for all the time.
And then send me well, was some Jimode Jicaso, Ukama Kajin, Jimajan, Tangshu Chegua. Send me well, Jimmy. And put the name of the Ud to Rambab Shani. But that would Jicaso the Shijabuta, Washambu, Kalmasha, and Puyang Bujan, and they got the charge you love to the Kanga Marwa, Kotaka. Timana, Jimo was the some to shoot at the Zigura. Ukaka shoot at the what the name of the so shall take a Rambab shop. Send the count to make their part never. Teacher Tanching Marwa. Tanching Mar was a Tanchia Mahaji Casana, Jimo and the Ganga Bear. So Zada long the Ganga Bar Jimin. Chico Udanda Yanja Jimo and Tanching your one. Tanching was a summer on the Indian Uka some dana. Who does Rambab the shop for a teacher and was some look at the 남주 가서 삼단주나 다는 탕샤 책 말봐. 어디 탕마질에 겨 봐요. 오늘 롱도 좀 봐요. 겨 봐요. 어디죠?
So here, what's very useful in this regard of maintaining this balance and avoiding kind of the extremes is to maintain your natural breathing rhythm, and that is to not exaggerate in that in any way, but you have your kind of a natural breathing cycle. But at the same time, you are maintaining your focus on the object. So you have that as your mental focus, but everything else should be really, as it were, functioning normally. Because if you kind of like are too tensely caught up in the object, then your breathing is probably going to be affected as well. It will tighten, it will shorten. And this can, have issues regarding blood pressure and again this issue of the wind imbalance. And so so here, also, when we are too tight in regard to, holding the object as well, this can be quite exhausting. And we have to, when we have put too much effort into the kind of tight discipline around the holding of the object, it can be overdone, and that can lead to kind of a mental exhaustion. So here, the name of the game is really balance, and that is kind of an important aspect of maintaining that balance is maintaining the natural breathing cycle.
강토도 냠뇽부터나 또 못쳐봤지. 못쳐봤지. 세미나다 도다데 안데 제바이나 셈도스 짐자도 근데 전에 셈르자도 근데 샤워는 또스 야가 되기도 소소소가 가서 냠뇽을 못쳐봤지. 그러니까 냠뇽을 못쳐봤지. 또 봤나? 아니고 근데 편하게 그래. 다 대다고 레당보 외서 셈내 주베 탑당 셈지 군소게 내로 못줘봐. 와다 내가 셈이 도다데 그래 샤고 되게 셈이 군소게 내로 못줘봐. 인지 셈지 내로 타도 봐 못줘 말이었어. 말이데. 다 당뷰 셈지 그래서 당뷰 레전 셈내 봐서 다 레당보 셈내베 주베 맨조 탑게다. 셈지 군소 내로 못줘서 인시 최기 견제 소소다. 변절 없어 최기 견제 못들 소체 소체.
So yes, that it really comes down to one's own experience, and that some people can look at that, maintain as the object of their awareness, the very continuum of consciousness, and to really be able to know from experience, recognize from experience, when the focus has been too tight or too loose, but you're recognizing the faults of sinking mental excitement itself as well, so you can adjust accordingly based on your own personal experience, and this becomes crucial. So it said that with regard to what's been just explained about taking the mind as one's object of meditation, it said that for beginners this can be a very easy method for being able to establish stability of mind, and that it's a very good way also of introducing ourselves to the conventional nature of the mind, but it's not the means by which we are introduced to the ultimate nature of mind. And then there's a quote from the Master, the Pandit Choki Gelsen, who says, "I, Choki Gelsen, declare that this is a wonderful means of accomplishing a steady mind for beginners, and it introduces them to the reality of the conventional mind."
mikwa karina mikwa de nawa le ani yu shela ta se ma to wachina ro te ma wala so ba ta ya ho ta nge bala so te de la se ma to wach mikwa ta ga nawa ta ga rangal se mishan ya ka she kom ja so ka ya sam tan ju ma so ta de no de yo re Kaya Samamata, Sem Shashati, Samata, Midian Chiksha, Midian de la Sem Shani, and Sem Shanam Hotowachet. What a Jokum Sota, Jacominan, Takum Samata, Jumsa Samotani, and Jamachet, Jacobs. That the Jocumla, Midian Karina, and Midian Tara, Sem Shawa, Dilishella, and Sem Matowachet. But that Jocums wanted to check, don't let it check, that and the check.
And so yes, that here said that the object or the arising of the object in the mind, and just that is the object what we focus on. So here, in reference to taking the mind as the object itself, it's just that the mind itself and the awareness itself is our object of focus, and not anything else that arises in the mind, such as anything good or bad or indifferent. Here, it's not to take anything else, not to be anything else, because that would be a distraction from just focusing on awareness itself. So there's no other object other than that. And this is known as placement meditation. And so it's not, we're not talking about here not having any thought whatsoever. That's an incorrect interpretation. Here there is a focus, there is an object of that focus. It's saying that, but other than that, we are not allowing any other thought to.
And Kaya Salo Kojo must be Marvata, Mitan Kaya Dile Sheme Salo Kaya Kojo must be Mitoba Kogurma, Mitoba Sudia, Guanore, Yorba, what did you do? That dinner, Sem Migua, Mina, then as a similar Mina Comtu Dini, Lamrim Nature Sushi, and Teshe Nare Debe Chulasa, Keva, Ni, Tengazi, Chidashi Tujang, so Damayicha, Lamri Chuan Le, Hagu Soki, as a Migde. Because I make them share me job, send me dog what some don't like young. Send me you can't like young as a me dog what shower chow ship. Jenna, send me chowala, my chella. My why because of my by young son, me what my jibber, my by young, me what my jibber, Jabata. 20 gram, my imba, me what my jibber, Jabata 20 gram, Jabba don't do them, my dear. That gonna take a Geshe shoot to me. And Jabataba, you know, she has to be chipped.
Yes, so that's kind of no object is not what's being referred to here. That we have the object, but we don't entertain any other fabrications when we're doing this meditation. And here is also saying that these instructions on taking the mind as the object of meditation are also to be found in the graduated path teachings. That here the objective is that we become aware of every detail of mindfulness and alertness, and in order to become expert with regard to the topic of meditation, so that whatever kind of meditative concentration we're trying to give rise to, that mindfulness, that awareness becomes the main part of that. And this is pointed out too in the concise Lamrim, and there's a quote from this saying that sustaining the mind without thought constructions, not placing it on any object of meditation, such as the body of a deity, etc., you should settle the mind non-conceptually on the mind itself as your object of meditation. With mindfulness, your mind should not get scattered or distracted, because concentration and the mindfulness which does not forget its object are synonymous. Without losing your attention to this recollection, you can sustain a mindfulness which produces strength and confidence.
Raja said, Migden da Jeba Jeba, Migden da Jeba Jeba, Joa Jeba Yide. Moba Gundi Lesro, Papa Tomix, Moba Gundi. Jeba Ganshena, Jive Mobu, La Sibji Jeba Meba, there, number Miwe Legenos.
So then there comes a question that people ask and say, okay, but what is the essence of awareness, of mindfulness? And that if they ask that, it says here, it's that which does not lose its object of focus, and that it is that which gains mastery over its focus or fosters its object of focus. And again, from more clarity from a text called The Compendium of Metaphysics by Arya Asanga, where he points out that mindfulness is described as something that functions so as not to allow the mind to forget a thing with which it has been made familiar, and so it does not get distracted. And so, and then said, in brief, when whatever one aspect of meditative concentration one is trying to cultivate, one will encounter what are the 5 faults, and then the antidotes to them are known as the 8 different adjustments that can be made. And so here the 5 faults are described as laziness. That's the first. The second is the one is forgetting the instruction. Third, both mental thinking and mental excitement are taken together as the third. The fourth is where one fails to make adjustments when necessary, and the fifth is making just adjustments when it is no longer necessary. And so then from a text known as Distinguishing Between the Extremes and the Middle Way, it just simply says the 5 faults are asserted as laziness. One is forgetting the instruction, the mental thinking and mental excitement, non-adjustment and readjustment.
제 개체모저 통화이나 다 좀되게 다 좋아지기로 와. 디야네 양도 삼다 다데 예식개와이나 하고와 자마자 딩네 예식개와이나 장도 예바 장도 와이나 아니 다 장도 와이나 아니 땡가서 연대 통에 대바체 땡가지게 돈이게 두바다 땡게 대바디게 아니 땡가서 좀 되고 두바기로 와 다들 생각 통에 그래 하고 서서 두바기로 와 두바체 땡가지게 아니 디 두바기 와도 아니 디 두베고 주주기로 와 아니 데레가 주주기는 가가 좋아도 다디 저부터 신장스거든 아니 더 류신자 샘신자스다 신자 저번에는 강에 근데지는 매바차 류생의 강에 매바차로 와 다 데레는 빼하고 해서 데레지 좋아한테 아니 데레 용화를 가르쳐서 주주성 것도 아니 데 주주성 주주성을 가르쳐 거기도 쓰나 다 가자죠 다 가자죠 그래서 내가서 좀 받고 다 와다 좀 받고도 근데 영화를 가서 땡가서 대받 거고도 딱고 찍지는 저와 차 되기도 와. 어떻게 내가 약을 통으로 어떻게
So yes, tackling these 5 faults are the 8 adjustments that one can apply. And so here, these are known as the antidotes to the 5 faults, and we must be able to establish these if we are any real aspiration to develop meditative concentration. So at the beginning, with regard to the first is laziness. Since this is a fault, and it then is dealt with with 4 of the first adjustments to be able to counteract that laziness. And that here it's pointed out that it says here that it's seeing the qualities of meditative concentration. We develop faith, and so faith is the first antidote that is used to counteract laziness. And here, this faith is like really informed faith that we need to understand. And we understand where, the key importance of meditative concentration at all different stages of our spiritual ascendancy into enlightenment. So, whether in cyclic existence or getting out of cyclic existence and achieving the omniscient state of enlightenment. So, even from the desire realm to kind of advance into into the higher realms of the form realm and the formless realm, the development of meditative concentration is absolutely indispensable, and that in even counteracting mental afflictions in the desire realm, the is indispensable. And so here, even in the kind of like aspirations within cyclic existence, the use of meditative concentration is absolutely indispensable. Then, when we want to attain liberation from cyclic existence itself completely, we must develop the wisdom of selflessness, isn't it? But we cannot do that unless we have the penetrative power of meditative concentration. So, like that, wisdom itself is built upon the meditative concentration. So again, it's indispensable. And then no need to describe how essential it is to go beyond that again and to attain Buddhahood, the omniscient state of enlightenment. It is absolutely indispensable there too. So at all stages in our spiritual kind of development, the presence of meditative concentration is absolutely important. And so here, this is something we must understand for ourselves. If it's going to, this faith in, this conviction in the efficacy of meditative concentration is to really bear fruit. And so here we have to gain that sense of understanding that if I want to really overcome, get rid of all undesired suffering, I must develop meditative concentration. It's part and parcel of all I need to do in order to overcome suffering, even in relation to myself. So that sort of conviction must be self-won or self-powered from within ourselves. I must be able to, cultivate the reasonings that will convince me to put the effort into developing a meditative concentration. And so this is the faith that's being referred to here, seeing the qualities of meditative concentration and therefore pushing on to do that. And indeed, that informs the second of the antidotes or adjustments that will counteract laziness as well, which is when we have seen the yearning and then the wishing to develop meditative concentration. That in turn informs the third of the antidotes, which is the diligence and the effort of persevering in our efforts to develop meditative concentration. And then the fourth of these antidotes is actually the result of all that, of what the kind of mental and physical pliancy that is described when we have developed meditative concentration. And then we can look at these from the reverse point of view as well, that the meditative mental and physical pliancy of really having that kind of mental and physical control that comes through a meditative concentration is built upon the effort and diligence that we put into developing it, the aspiration and yearning we have to strive for it, and the faith that underpins everything as well. So that we can see these antidotes, these four antidotes that counteract the fault of laziness, are very much interconnected as well.
가서 나게 연대도 공부해 줘야다. 나게 연대데 아니 가서다 지금 배주 양다고 요가 땡게지면은 탑면도 와. 땡게지에서 다시 배는 알아서 배는 땡두게 잘 로서다. 로면은 가야지 해면 와. 로면은 가야지 해면 와. 다 디솔제 땡게지들에도 와. 땡게지인데 아니 다 무시 좀내 땡게지면은 무시 요구요 말해. 아니 살랑가 또밖에 몰라 땡게지면은 용도구면도. 로다 감 공부하다 말게 원래 땡게지면은 용해면도. 타바 탐지 쳐봐도 땡가지면은 요하면 다 땡가지도 당가서 로안듯이 뻔 땡두고 추잖아 로안듯이 해도 와. 뒤 여발할 때는 망부지 제투에지. 좋아. 요도도 와.
So here, from the point of view of how convinced we have to be in the efficacy of meditative concentration, we see it is, for whatever inner quality or realization that we hope to gain, we cannot do so without developing meditative concentration. It is an absolute necessity, and it's in this regard, it's like a light, that with light everything is possible. Without light we are in darkness, and nothing much is possible. And here it's the same. Meditative concentration is like light in that anything we aspire to, whether it's the clairvoyance or gaining the higher realms of cyclic existence, or the attainment of liberation from cyclic existence, or the omniscient state of enlightenment itself, all of them depend upon meditative concentration. And that with that meditative concentration, so much is possible. Without it, nothing is.
아니 다들 롭조 제와 롭조 제를 땡가지에는 롭조 제를 뺏 가서를 시험 현대민다 요구요. 아니 제와대 마제와 요구요. 딱 땡가지 누가 쉬우지를 또 와. 내가 땡가지 오게 제하고 또 와.
So in the qualities of meditative concentration is such that we can have this really pacification of the mind based on the level of focus and concentration. And that the attention that goes with that as well is excellent for study, for example. We'll have success in our studies where we do not forget what we have learned, all of these come from meditative concentration.
我跟这等个这个原点他也不知道，但俺说等个这面呢，他没这个知道，但我说这个搿只我搿这个南州也不有事了，为呢等个这面差多南州的个差长嘛差多么多啊，比大不是差多么多啊，这东跟这马东跟差得多啊，这原点的说呢，像三这边蛮不有这个去，差这个多啊。
And so again, the qualities of meditative concentration are countless, and that's here countless, but also, and that with that we can do so much. Without meditative concentration, we're very limited. Even if we have great intelligence of mind, but we have no concentration or very little, we're very limited in how we can really fulfill our potential. And so here. It's understood that the side effects of meditative concentration are many and very, very helpful.
等个这也会有呢，他说的现在是不是我现在等个这来等到中国的话，现在上路搞的可多好可多，修着了的，你的上那个多个头给咱买的，等个这也会给这个结完呢，怕叫个上路搞的可会大好可多，现在是我是这个的，现在是不是我是这个。提起来有个嘛的，在那边领导先把原来还搞土有了的，在那微信上头用土有了，这是个等个这了等用到，但上了到头，我这等这个推荐，然后到行上个要的，等着了在那看呀嘛了吧，等个这了等那其他哪你个就要当土多，但是去了个我那就等这个亚界的去了就要到当个头的，哪了就要跟当土么多，去了就要当我的，马我把我那就全部当也可以的。초라 땅제는 땅도 면도 데 코유다 마네버 돈에 땅 두고 면도 와 땡에 저게 야제데 치다 나니가 야제다 코유를 마네버다 땅 두고도 와 그래서 내절 땅 저기버 땅 두고도 와 나라도 다들 땡두고 야제데 가서라 땅 가서 삽삽 맞지면은 지금 가서 코유를 내절 저에 장자지보다 매딩 소리 요것도 와 요것도 와 다 되다 그 And
so, even the kind of mundane benefits that are described for meditative concentration, such as developing clairvoyances, are extraordinary in themselves, even though these are not considered to be, in any way the end product of meditative concentration, just like a side effect, as it were, so that you can know what another person is thinking. So it's quite an extraordinary claim, isn't it? That through meditative concentration, and that they don't even have to be near you. That even if they're living in a different country, you can know what they are thinking through the development of meditative concentration. And so with meditative concentration, great change is possible, both internal and external, and that this is, can be brought about. And so this is also useful in terms of counteracting the modern attitude to modern development as well. You can see here that though there may be some positive changes in development and all that, but there's a tremendous damage to the environment caused in this way. And so kind of like here, if more people develop more meditative concentration, this is going to mitigate such problems as these.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
so we leave it there for today. I can see that you're possibly had enough.
다 개치도 먼저 다들 한국어 가르치는 때문에서 개치 뭐 그때는 강통도 니 말에 당 먼저 현대 주스다 가고 인도대 이나야 그 바샤를 샤도서 공장이나 저것도 공장도 맞지 아니 대화스게들 다외 대화 이지게 대화 원도게 대화 다 대화되다 다외 대화 때문에서 야고 이봐 셰다 다외 대화 그러나 아니 이지게 대화 아니 원도게 대화 나야 때 나라야 때 주나 삼사치 너를 원도게 대화 어다 되잖아 어다 됐어.
So we leave it there, but just to point out, yes, of course, it's obviously very difficult to develop such levels of meditative concentration. But I think it's very, very important that we all try to and put the effort in, and maybe set aside some time in the morning meditation to focus just certainly on placement meditation like this, to develop our concentration, develop our focus, and even if that's just laying down imprints in our mind, it's very useful to do. And to accompany that too, with that sense of faith and conviction in the process of meditative concentration, to develop our sense of determination and delight in wanting to cultivate such concentration. And so this regards putting all of our conviction into that, such as the pure faith and the faith of conviction and manifest faith, where we really say, you can see what benefits there are, and I want to emulate that and have those benefits to be able to develop them myself. So it's a very, very important thing to aspire to, even if we can't dedicate ourselves to it now.
Kondeora lama tuan to chang konde tu an lama tuan rang ning de prama ta jela komashe an de de lama tuan to chang chen ta pa de zo lama ta ge do ka de jong ku zo do mo so de ta be ko zo pe ni be ko so be ko de chu san je kuma ma do je so za ka ko.
So we bring our mind to the figure of Guru Munindra Vajradhara on our crown, and then also set up a lotus, a mandala, lotus, sun and moon disc mandala seat at our heart center, and then make the invocation prayer to invite the Guru Munindra Vajradhara to our crown, to our seat, to our heart. And so with the verse of glorious and precious Guru, come take a lotus and moon seed placed here at my heart. Keep me safe in your kindness, bestow on me the attainments of your body, speech, and mind. And with the first, at the end of the first recitation, the figure begins to move down through our crown, through the central channel. At the end of the second recitation, arrives at our heart center, at the seat, and at the end of the third recitation, the certainty that our Guru Munindra Vajradhara will remain with us until we attain the state of enlightenment ourselves, and rejoice in that fact.
Then they got the Masum and Union Nether, and a Toji Cheka Zenga Bachin, in the Kajan check, and they tell her the best diet of Monument Mamas and Korasum Jada. Yeah, what's up? And then Arabas and the Kora and Chico Jack, and then Koran Angola, and Omayeta, my head of Tadaka, the head of the Mashaman and Swas, and the Korasum that they didn't got Korasha, and the Nala. Lama tuan to chang kule wesetu rangi chibone kante ke pa lu thamja lu weseki chamne rangi lu nga yesu ne sabe dikwa da tiba da damse nyamja thamja da chashi da ba jungso so sa cha an kyaba to ya an rangi je kaso da chue tu be ke je an je lu la je na cha ra da khari ba ne da de da ka shiwa jungso sa sa an de ne za long thile kyen de thamja chang ne boda an je kaso da 어디에 야고식 중소서 인 개발도 뉴도 산제 고바 도와라 탐에게 나시 가고 탐에게 나시 교연 탐제잖아 다 야고식 중소 선서고 고바시.
So then from at our heart center, the 8-petaled lotus folds over the figure of Guru Munindra Vajradhara and is sealed its tips by a white pronged vajra. And then surrounded, those leaves are surrounded by the 3 mantras, the name mantra of Shakyamuni Buddha in going in a clockwise direction, the mantra of wisdom in an anti-clockwise direction, and the mantra of dependent origination again in a clockwise direction. So it's sealed in that sense. And then from light rays emanate from the figure within, permeating through the lotus leaves, and indeed really pervading all of our bodies from the crown to the soles of our feet, and in so doing eradicating all negativities and obstacles related to body, speech and mind, and indeed also any elements of sickness or illness in the body, of being rebalancing all of the elements in the body, and the channels, the winds and the drops, and in particular dealing with the main obstacle to our attaining enlightenment, or is sticking on being stuck in ordinary appearance, of seeing all that we observe in ordinary appearance, and transforming that into seeing our world and reality as a pure appearance.
So that should the long the language, Lama Shaja say, who the engine, so the Lama Shaja say, who to so the should the same the Lama Shaja say to the engine, so the same the Lama Shaja say to and Lama Shaja send and Kuson to da, so again, Lunga used to know Yeme Chasu, some of what I said.
And then through the combination of my own most subtle wind, acting as the substantial cause, with the body of the Buddha acting as the cooperative conditions, my own body is transformed into the enlightened body of a Buddha. Through the combination of my own most subtle mind acting as the substantial cause, together with the mind of the Buddha, my own mind is transformed into the enlightened mind of the Buddha. And we rejoice at this new reality of our own body, speech and mind now being inseparable and indivisible from the body, speech and mind of the enlightened being.
And Lama Shaja say, Shekhan Jusu, some set Lama Shaja say, Kurju, Tugale, and Simja the Tanda, we said Chovala Tene, we said the data Simja Rana and Timbala Tene. Simja the data Lama Shaja say, Kusun to the Moye Chasus, Ne de data Jaja, and the Caso de Lama Tulo with Shekhan Jusu, some such.
And then all the faults of place here that I am in are completely purified, and that place is transformed into the celestial palace of an enlightened being. And then through that process of sending out light rays from my own heart as a fully enlightened Buddha, equal in number to all the sentient beings in all the 6 realms of existence, these lights go through all these realms, to all these beings, and entering into them, they are automatically transformed into enlightened beings themselves, and that the places that they are in are also purified of all fault and transformed into the celestial palace of a Buddha. And to really rejoice that today is the day in which I have fulfilled that goal of leading all sentient beings to the enlightened state of a Buddha. This is wonderful. And also to reflect that this leading of all sentient beings to enlightenment, the causes that can bring that about, and me, the agent, the one creating those causes, the state of enlightenment itself are completely empty of any objective existence and merely imputed by thought. From this arises bliss. This bliss commingles with emptiness, and we abide in the wisdom of non-dual bliss and voidness. And we make a dedication in the knowledge that, of course, this generation of this attainment of enlightenment is only done so on the imagination level at the moment. They were an aspirational level, but I sincerely dedicate that it will be quickly made manifest for real in the future. We'll do our Lambrin prayer. Page 29. From my 2 collections, vast the space that I have amassed, from working with effort at this practice for a great length of time, may I become the chief leading Buddha for all those whose mind's wisdom eye is blinded by ignorance. Even if I do not reach this state, may I be held in your loving compassion for all lives, Manjushri. May I find the best of complete graded paths of the teachings, and may I please all the Buddhists by my presence. Using the skillful means drawn by the strong force of compassion, may I clear the darkness from the minds of all beings with the points of the path as I have discerned them. May I uphold his teachings for a very long time. With my heart going out with great compassion in whatever direction the most precious teachings have not yet spread, or once spread have declined, may I reveal this treasure of happiness and aid. May the minds of those who wish for liberation be granted bounteous peace, and the Buddha's deeds be nourished for a long time, by even this graded path to enlightenment completed, due to the wondrous virtuous conduct of the Buddhas and their children. May all human and non-human beings who eliminate adversity and create conducive conditions for practicing the excellent path never be parted in any of their lives from the purest path praised by the Buddhas. Whenever someone makes effort to act in accordance with the tenfold Mahayana virtuous practices, may they always be assisted by the mighty ones, and may visions of prosperity spread everywhere.
You are of like the tribe of great treasure and compassion, not aimed at true existence, and Manjushri, master of flawless wisdom, as well as Vajrapani, destroyer of hordes without exception. Sankapa, crown jewel of the sages of the land of snows, Losangdraka, at your feet, I make requests.